Lions, you call yourselves. At the Mummer's Ford, girls of 7 years were raped, and babes, still on the breast, were cut in two while their mothers watched.
I wasn't at the Mummer's Ford.
Before the War of the Five Kings, King Robert is still alive, and Ned Stark is the hand of the king. While the king is away hunting, news reaches the capital of a group of outlaws ravaging the countryside in the Riverlands, burning, raping, and killing, led by a man as big as an ox.
That sounds like someone we know. The Mountain.
Who in fact was sent out by Tywin Lannister in hopes of getting Ned to lead a force himself in order to ambush and capture him, to have a hostage to trade for Tyrion, who had recently been arrested by Catelyn Stark. But Ned's leg was still broken after being confronted by Jaime and his men. In the books it's a little different. Ned and Jaime never actually fight. Jaime orders his men to only kill Ned's guards, and in the confusion Ned's horse slipped and fell on his leg, crushing it.
My brother, Lord Stark, I want him back.
So he's unable to ride to battle. Then Sir Loras Tyrell asks for the honor of slaying Sir Gregor, since he was almost killed by the Mountain. But Ned refuses, saying that the goal is justice and not vengeance. He orders Beric Dondarrion, Thoros of Myr, Sir Gladden Wild, and Lord Mallory to each assemble 20 men. Ned also personally sends 20 guards of House Stark.
In the name of Robert of the House Baratheon, the first of his name, I charge you to bring the king's justice to the false knight Gregor Clegane.
Lord Beric is given command. They had about 120 men from House Mallory, Darry, Dondarrion, and Stark. As they were crossing the River Trident at the Mummer's Ford, along the Red Fork in the Riverlands, Beric and his men were intercepted in the front by forces from House Lannister. They made a fighting retreat, when behind them, out of the trees, Lannister soldiers started rushing out. Tywin had hidden his men on both banks of the river, and now they were being ambushed from the rear by the Mountain and his men. Gladden Wild and most of Lord Eddard's men were killed. Lord Mallory was ridden down and drowned. Raymond Darry was killed by the Mountain, by a blow so powerful it severed his arm and killed the horse beneath him. Then he found Lord Beric Dondarrion and shoved the
Lance right through the chest.
His young squire, Lord Edric Dane, pulled him out of the river and stood over his body while the battle still raged all around them. Another soldier then helped the squire get Beric back onto his horse. One of the guards of House Stark, Alan of Winterfell, began shouting commands and restored order to the ranks. Those who were still on their horses rallied to Thoros of Myr and managed to cut their way free. Out of all the soldiers, only 40 men remained alive. Later on that night, as Beric lay dying, Thoros drew a foot of lance from his chest and poured boiling wine into the hole, but it was too late. He was dead. Thoros then mumbled a half-remembered blessing and performed a funeral rite called the Last Kiss, when the priests filled their mouth with fire and breathed flame into the dead body. But Thoros and everyone else are shocked when it brings Beric back to life. In the aftermath of the battle, Beric and his men formed the Brotherhood without banners.
He told us that our war hadn't ended at the Mummer's Ford, but begun, and that every fallen brother would be avenged.
They continue to fight the Lannisters and are joined by defeated soldiers from other battles, deserters, and refugees. Beric dies and is brought back 4 more times before the Brotherhood find Arya, Gendry, and Hot Pie.
What's lurking behind that wall? A lion? A wolf?
Just a dirty little cub, I think.
Loose a few more shafts.
Don't. Who do you fight for?
The Brotherhood without banners.
The Brotherhood? That's who the Mountain and them lot were looking for. They'll bring us back and put rats in us.
You've got nothing to fear from us, son. The Lords of Westeros want to burn the countryside. We're trying to save it.